I'm going to talk through a new recruiting program that we're doing that is based around doing things with us. Because if you think about it, like how are most people attracting agents to them? How are most people doing that? Think about the average recruiter in the industry. Job boards, yep. Right? ZipRecruiter. Chasing people, that's right. Indeed, yep. Right? Indeed. What else you say? Begging people to work for them, right? Please, I've got the greatest opportunity ever. I'm going to pay you whatever you want. You're going to make whatever you want. You're going to work whenever you want. Yes, like please come to my team, right? Like, dude, I don't know about you guys, but I never wanted to run a business where like I just begged people to work for me, right? Or I had to like chase or like beg or influence or pay or like, you know what I mean? And also, when I run a business, here's a big takeaway already. When I run a business, I don't want to do what everybody else is doing. Now, when I'm selling insurance, I do. Okay, there's a big difference. When I'm selling insurance, I want to go find the Mark Lyons of the world, right? Or the Medicare Misties of the world. Say, okay, what are they doing and how can I do what they do? Now, that's great for selling insurance, but when you're trying to get exposure and grow a brand and a following and build a presence and attract agents to you, Shane, versus chasing them around like, bro, where did Johnny go? Right? Where's he at? I need him on my squad. And you do, by the way. But I've always wanted to do it differently, right? I've always wanted to stand out. I've always wanted to be unique. And so as I talk through this, I'm going to be talking through how you can start to do things in your own business that other people are not doing. Okay? Most people don't want to just build an agency and sell forever. Is that fair to say? Yep. Most people want to be a business owner at some point. They want to graduate at some point. They want to attract others to their team at some point, and they want to build this empire around getting people around them, right? So if that's you, and you're like, okay, dude, I want to get other people around me. I want to attract people to me. I don't want to just physically sell forever because my income is capped if I physically sell forever. If that's you, and you want to build, say aye. Aye. Say aye again. Aye. Okay, good. If you think about that, also too, the I is so much, when you're ever speaking or you're doing recruiting meeting, whatever, right? The I is so much easier than this, isn't it? Right? This can be awkward because if 6 of you raise your hand, it's like, I did a terrible job. But it's easy for, at most 90% will say I, right? So when you're doing webinars, whatever, right? Like these things I'm talking about, you start scaling through exposure. When we're doing webinars, I'm trying to light up the chat as much as I possibly can. Right? So it's just continuous. If you were at 8% virtual, the chat was lit up. We had 600 people live on Zoom with us, 1,700 logged in, and that chat was going insane. But we have opportunities for people around the industry to do more with us. Okay, so yes, traditional job boards and chasing people and begging people to work for you is very normal, right? What else? Okay, referrals, yep, which is great. Which is good. Also, when you build more and more people know about you and this thing grows and expands, guess what you get more of? Referrals. Like we have people in our community that message me multiple times a week to come be a part of what we're doing in some way. I put up talk about hiring, I put up one social media post that said we're hiring again. And I put like the different positions and the different what you make and the potential. And I put the benefits. I didn't put the benefits where like health insurance and 401k. It's like, dude, we've got to evolve to keep people's attention. Yeah. So I put like, you get to fly on a private jet. You get to plan epic parties. You get to hang out with celebrities and athletes, right? Like if those things are true in our organization, and they are, why not lead with some of that stuff? Because it's more attractive than, guess what? You're going to get dental. Jonathan, and you're going to love dental. And then when you're there for 17 years, dude, you're going to get vision. Can you believe that? Like, what are we doing, right? It's a different level of thinking, a different way of talking, right? It's a different way of expressing what you're doing. So so when I put that post up, hiring again, and I tagged all of our team, and I said, email our director of operations, Kelly. We got over 50 people email her from our local community in under 24 hours. But most people don't do those things. right? It's a different level of think. It's a different level of grabbing someone's attention. It's a different level of evolving and attracting people versus chasing everyone. Has this already been pretty decent, by the way, right? We've been going like 7 minutes, maybe 6 minutes, 5 minutes. I got more, okay? How do you want to attract people? Like, what do you really want to do when you think about what you want? Envision your company 5 years from now. 5 years ago, I was just starting all this other stuff I'm doing, right? Nobody knew who I was. We had no following. Social media, I didn't even use social media. I hated it, like, because that was a limiting belief. I didn't like it, right? We had the bad news bears. We talked about that. Nobody wanted to work with us, right? We didn't have a sexy opportunity, right? But over time, it's evolved. Well, where do you want to get to? And then I'm going to talk through a new idea that we're rolling out for a select few people that's doing quite well. Because we normally will charge normally $60,000 to $120,000 a year for someone to work with us and do a bunch of stuff with us. And that way they can, we can feed people to them, if you will, right? Because I'm never on stage or YouTube or anything like that, like recruiting, right? You've never seen me try to recruit. I just don't do it. It's not my thing. However, I do know how to get a lot of attention and attract people to others. Because, what's your name, sir, in the hat? Blake? Like with Blake, some people, what's your name, sir? Tony? Okay, so we got Blake and Tony. Say I do a video with Blake, some people are going to be attracted to Blake and they're going to want to work with Blake. Then next week, we put Tony on the Power Players podcast. Some people are going to be attracted to Tony, while other people are going to be attracted to Blake, right? You don't know. And you also don't know who's going to be attracted to you. The good news is not everyone will. Yep. Also, too, you've got to become a better version of yourself and evolve and become more alive so that what happens is you actually push the people away from you that you don't want. Right. Most people are I talked about never hire average. I don't want everyone to work with us. There's a lot of people I actually will not allow them to work with us because it would be a living hell for a year, right? Like you think about it. People are building a company then, and they want everyone to work for them, everyone to be in their downline. They make money on everyone. I don't. But if I'm not talking like that on those different exposure type options and plans, what's going to happen is I'm going to just end up with a bunch of people, and I'm not going to say, hey, I only want people that have been in the business. I'm just spitballing. I don't know what you want, but it may be, hey, I only want people that have been in the business over 24 months, that are agency owners, that have a team, and that want to explode, and that do this. If that's not you, we can talk, but I can't help you. Right? I don't know. I don't know what it is for you. I know for us, the happiest clients we have are making close to 6 figures or above 6 figures. A lot of them are making like $250,000 a year to $750,000 a year. And then we are helping them get known in the space and attract people to them and scale their agency. Like Joe Campert talked about me yesterday with Redwood. Well, they hired me to consult them, and I gave them a couple of ideas that they immediately implemented, and it immediately tripled the amount of money they were getting in to their company because of one single thing, right? Like those things are available to anyone. So here's what I want to talk through real quick. I want to talk through what you should be, like what do you really want? For you to get to that company you talked about that you want to get to in 5 years, whatever that is, however big it is, what do you actually need to do? Let's talk through that. You want to, well, what are some of the things from a recruiting, hiring, exposure, attraction standpoint that you really need to do? Or that you want to do? You need more people. Okay, so, and do you care if they're licensed or unlicensed, really?
They can be unlicensed.
Yep, good, right? So most people only work job boards with unlicensed. Dude, why not licensed too, right? What's your name, by the way? Brian, as Brian just said, right? They can be licensed too. Okay, so the first thing we really want and need is quality candidates. It's people, but it's also I like inbound versus outbound though. Yep. Like job boards are very outbound. Okay, all the stuff we do with people is very inbound. Yep. Okay, so you're going to see a bunch of people on stage with us this year, or on webinars or road shows or whatever, and they're doing or podcasts or interviews. They're doing a bunch of stuff with us, and we're attracting people to their organization because they're leading with value. I believe, as Landon, my business partner, says, right? Rodney's our sales director for Secure Agent Marketing. Raise your hand, Rodney, right there in the back, okay, with the backpack on. Okay. So he helps our marketing company, which is a different company in another building with my business partner Landon and I. And my business partner Landon always talks about, hey, people work with people who educate them. I want you to ask yourself, how many people are you educating and bringing value to? And it's probably not enough. It's still not enough for us. Like, we're doing a lot, but man, we can do more. Okay, so candidates flowing inbound to you. Would that help?
Yep. Yeah.
Say aye if that would help.
Aye.
Okay, that's number one. Number two, can you train and bring value to people? Do you have something that you've done well? Do you have a promotable and marketable story? Are you as cool as James Penn Jr.? I don't know if you are or not, you know? Have you done 30 grand in a week, 50 grand in a month, 10 grand your first month, $100,000 your first year? Have you recruited 69 people in your first 60 days like Nate? Like, did you do 30 grand your first month in the business, $34,000, right? I don't know what it is for you. Or are you an absolute assassin on the phone and phenomenal at building rapport like Patrice? Like, everybody's different. What's your marketable, promotable story? My wife gets tired of hearing how I made $117,391.13 at 20 with no leads while cold door knocking to talk to people about death. But is it relatable?
Yep.
Are people attracted to it?
Yep.
And do most people never accomplish it in their first year?
Yep.
So we still talk about it. Now, have we kind of evolved? Do I want to talk about it forever? No. Is it kind of boring to me now? Yes. Like Nate wanted me to get up and train on objections on stage. Aren't we kind of glad I didn't get up there and talk about freaking objections?
Yeah.
There's another level to this thing.
Yep.
Like Tony Robbins says, money master the game. Dude, this game has some levels that I personally want to evolve through the levels. I don't want to train on objections forever. I'm sorry, I just don't. Right? That was 2015, 2016, 2017 Cody, wasn't it, Tony? Right? Like, that's not my thing. It's not my thing anymore. I like building businesses, right? I like promoting people. I like content. I like events. I like helping people see a bigger vision for their life and expand what they want to do. Okay, so second is, can you bring value via training content? Okay, I don't know if you can. I'm not sure, but only you would know. Third, because of the training content, would it attract people to you and help you build a brand? Again, we're talking about inbound versus outbound. If you're putting out content, if you're training people, you're educating people, what does that do? That attracts people inbound to you. Which means you're going to start building a bit of a presence and a brand along the way. Right? That's accurate? Yep. If you're scared of social media, if Tony does 10 grand in a week, but nobody knows, nobody cares. Right? Now, how long have you been in the business? A month.
Boom.
How'd your first month go?
Good.
What'd you do?
12 grand in 8 weeks.
Dude, $12,000 his first month, right? Now, can he attract other people to his organization in the future? Do you ever want to recruit and build?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. $12,000 his first month. Are there a bunch of people that know him that would love to make $12,000 their first month doing something?
Yeah.
Right? Do they know? Now, he may not be ready for that yet. I don't know. But it's involved in building a business, so I'm kind of changing my philosophy on whether you should just build or not, right? I bet Tony wishes he'd have started recruiting and building sooner. That Tony, right? And now this Tony's just a couple years younger, you know? And now he's doing what he was doing, right? It's the Tony effect. You're welcome. What does that do? That builds a following. It builds a following. You need a tribe. You need people to know who you are. You know, I talked about tight squeezing money and it won't flow to you. The same thing can be said for all of this. The more you tight squeeze your name, your brand, your accomplishments, and you're worried about what everybody else thinks and what they're doing and what they think of you. What's your name, sir? Tim. With a nice southern accent. Where are you from? Alabama. There we go, right? With Tim, I'm originally from Arkansas, but it's I guess I've lost it over the years. I don't know. Yeah, forgive me. With Tim, how long have you been in the business?
5 years.
5 years? Had some success?
Yeah.
How many people know how impressive and good Tim is at this? Not enough, right? Not enough people know who we are either, by the way. Like, yeah, we have hundreds of thousands of agents from around the world following us. Philippines, Sri Lanka, whatever, right? But it ain't enough. I can promise you that. It ain't enough. And I'm to the point now where I'm writing down every day that we're going to be flying around in our own private jet, helping the world. We're going to be producing insurance TV shows. We're going to have billions of dollars worth of real estate. Like those are we're going to be doing events for 100,000 at AT&T Stadium. I'm a big Dallas Cowboys fan, so that'd be pretty sick at some point, right? Like but I can tell you 5 years ago, I didn't think those things were possible. Right? If you come to the roadshow, I talk about this possibility index. How originally life seems like this life is invisible. Then you move from invisible to it's visible, but it's impossible. It's impossible for me. Then you go from impossible to, oh, dude, I'm doing it a little bit. I'm in it. Oh, wow, it's possible. Then you move from possible to probable. Oh, wow, it's probable. I'll have it, dude. I'm going to get it. Then we eventually move from probable to actual. I want actual success. I don't want possible success, right? I just don't. And so then the last thing that what doing a lot of this stuff does is it attracts people into your circle, and then you start building up a list. Most people don't have an email list, a text list, a follow-up list, a hit list, right? We have one of the bigger lists in the insurance industry. We're rapidly approaching 100,000 people on our list from around the world that have opted in. They're now thinking, holy crap, bro! Cody sends more emails than anybody I've ever seen. Yes. Say "I" if you can attest to that. Aye. Who sends more emails than we do? Probably Grant Cardone. Yeah. But right, that's who I've learned from along the way too. Right along the way, you think about it. If I send a bunch of emails and somebody I did a study recently in one of our events. I said, all right, stand up if you've ever unsubscribed from our list. And we had like half the room stood up. I said, stay standing if you got resubscribed and you're back on the list. They all stayed standing. Like if you do it, so should you be worried about sending half an email a day, whatever that is, and that people are going to unsubscribe, or just realize if you do enough, they'll end back up on the list anyway? That's a different way of think. Yep. I didn't agree with that level of think before. It's different. What's your name? Brian? Brian, it's different. Like, I didn't get it. I thought, oh man, like I got to worry about everybody's feelings and what they're thinking and how they feel. And oh my gosh, I really hope I don't offend you. Please, we rolled out the Ultimate Agent Contest. We sent out, because our list is so big, we tried a new software, which we will not be trying anymore because they said our list was too big for the software, which was cool. I'm like, that's good. That's a compliment. Because the list was so big, we didn't click some button. Who cares? Text went out at 1 a.m. because they started earlier that day, but the list was so big that text just kept going out forever. And then people got text at 1 a.m, and then people lit up Facebook groups complaining that when their phone was on Do Not Disturb, and they didn't hear it anyway or didn't notice it anyway, that they got to text it at midnight. And it was like this huge uproar. Yeah. Did it help or hurt our brand? No. Everybody was talking about us. Yep. Now, do people need to grow up? Yep. And not worry about getting a flipping text on accident at midnight? Like, my bad, right? Yep. However, I think it actually helped. Yeah. Because then everybody was talking about the Ultimate Agent Contest. Yep. And then we had a couple thousand agents register for that thing, and it exploded when we made the mistake. It's a different way of think. Those people are like, dude, I would never do that. Well, I'm not going to try to do it. I don't want to violate, whatever. Someone probably going to sue me after they watch this anyway, right? But what's going to happen is, because that'll happen the more success you get too. But what'll happen is we'll evolve and we'll realize worrying about those people, and I spent too long worried about it that whole day. I just did. I made a mistake. But I learned from it. And I realized my heart's in the right place. We will try to always do the right thing. But if we're worried about what people think, it won't matter. We will slow down instead of speed up. And guess what? We're speeding up this year. Hey, if you enjoyed this, I got another one you're gonna love. It's right there. Click on it. See you in there. Let's talk about the Tesla since you brought it up, okay? So they gave away a Tesla this past year.
Yes.
How did that work? What did you do? Whose idea was it? Where did it come from?
You know, you look at it, we always give back to our community, and we're like, you know,